It's probably my first time talking about it. You know what? You know what? Speak your life.
That's right. We speaking life right
Y'all
here.
are getting the tea.
Today's special guest is all the way from Little Rock, Arkansas. He is a former TEDx speaker, educator, award-winning poet, author, and co-founder of an art gallery, and is a filmmaker. Please welcome my friend Chris James.
Man, thank you for having me, brother. That was such a great intro. You sound like a professional podcaster.
Hey man, that's what I do.
Like all the YouTube podcasts I listen to, you have the sound.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like, this is good. I feel like I made it.
Yeah, that's right. And see, that's the thing. You have to, whenever, even if you're at the beginning of your stage in something, you have to like put that professionalism out there, because it's like you can't wait. Oh, I'm gonna wait till I get to the Breakfast Club level to become a professional. No, like you start being a professional now, so that Breakfast Club or whoever, like, oh yeah, look at that dude or look at that dude. Yeah. So that's how you grow. So
I like it, man. I like it, man. I'm excited to be here, man.
Yeah, man.
And I'm liking this new.
Hey, I got the little part right there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's fire.
Switch it up.
Did your barber do that? Like,
yeah.
Okay. Well, you gonna see me next week taking your style, like. That look like my haircut. Hey.
Oh, wait, hey. I mean, hey, you said it. You're recorded, so we know that you took my style. Hey, but it's all good. I co-signed.
Hey, Pablo Picasso said that good artists borrow, but great artists steal. So, hey, I'm going to steal your style. Hey.
As long as you give me the rights to it and I get the royalty check from it, then we good.
The royalty check will be the women that I don't want anymore. Okay, that's a joke. That's a joke. Speak your life. All right, never mind. Right.
Like,
I'll mow her. You can have her. That's your royalty.
You lost some potential subscribers and followers.
I'm a comedian and a poet. I'm not a misogynist.
He's still working on the comedian side, y'all. He's still working on that crap. But the poetry side,
my jokes are up here.
Let the audience tell that. But anyways,
I'll tell a joke later.
Man, so how you feeling? Out of 1 to 10, how you feeling?
Man, today, man, I'm at a 9.5.
9.5. Wow.
Yeah.
What gives you a 9.5? Like, what makes you feel in that like space? Like,
man, because I'm doing everything that I desire to do, and I'm able to taste and experience and feel the impact that I'm making, doing all of it.
Yeah.
And I'm at peace. Like, I'm at peace. Like, the world that I exist in isn't of chaos at this moment. Yeah, man. And everybody around me, are also, I believe, in a similar space. So I feel like I'm just in a bubble of growth. So I've intentionally surrounded myself around positive, productive, progressive people. You hear the P's? That's alliteration.
Alliteration right there, baby.
For those who no. Yeah, and because of that, man, I just feel good about it. I moved back here to Atlanta in December. Yeah. And it's just been up ever since. So that's why I'm at a 9.5.
Nice.
But what could add another 0.5 to it is if I can get another gig, by the end of next week. That's,
okay.
That pays me pretty well.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, I'm at a 15.
I'm at 100.
But I'm happy, bro. Like, I'm loving life.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. I feel the vibes.
Yeah. So. How you feel though?
Man,
like between 1 and 0, 1 and 10.
1 to 10. I am feeling I would say a good 8.87, and the reason why is because like I'm in the space where I want to be, and there's some things that I'm like some projects where I like had to delay and push before I push it out. Yeah. But I'm just like sometimes I could be like perfectionist, and I'm like, all right, I need to get this and this done because like I have a book that's coming out. I haven't told y'all yet, but I have a book that's coming out.
I heard it first.
So, and I've been just like, I don't know, it's carefully crafting it and stuff like that. So, and some other things that I'm doing in the works and yeah, some exciting things coming. But I'm almost at a 9. I'm almost at a 9, but I'm not there yet. So, but yeah, I'm good.
Hey, we speaking life right now.
That's right.
So for those who are watching and listening, I want y'all to pay attention to what we just did. You know, folks be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Folks are like, "Man, I'm amazing," right? But what we just did is we just had thorough communication. Like we said how we were doing
and why,
like what was the why behind our what and how and all that. So that was thank you. So that was good. We just kind of naturally did it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's dope, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So that's communicate that way with your partners and your friends.
Yes.
All that, man.
Dropping gems already.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So you ready to speak your life?
I'm ready to speak my life.
That's right. There we go. So in this space, we usually talk about the two most important things. If I'm paraphrasing Mark Twain, the two most important things in your life are the day you were born and the day you know why. So give us the day, and walk us through that journey to knowing why you're born.
Oh man, that's easy. I've done quite a few podcasts or interviews, and I have the same answer for this one. So thank you for asking it.
Yeah.
That was a great quote too. Man, I was born November 1st, 1989, in Monticello, Arkansas. Grew up in North Little Rock, Arkansas. But it was my, I think it was my freshman, maybe my first semester of sophomore year in college. I performed a poem, and the poem was called "Cage Bird," and that poem was about my brothers being in prison for 25 and 40 years.
Okay.
And I had always been passionate about writing and performing my poetry, but before then I was just writing it, and hoping people like it, whatever. But the day that I read that poem in front of that whole college audience, it was no longer I wonder if people like my work. Do I actually have something to say? That day I knew I did.
Yeah.
Because when I performed that piece about my brothers being in prison and how I felt it affected them and how it affected me as a black man, I looked out to the audience and every single person in the audience was crying. Like grown black men crying tears.
Wow.
Like I was crying. Like I poured my heart into that performance, into the writing of that poem. And I just remember looking out to the audience and everybody was just there. And that's the day I realized how impactful my voice was, how impactful my writing was. And that was 2009. And I spent the next couple of years attempting to figure out how can I do this right here for the rest of my life. And by November 2013, it was what I was doing.
Nice.
And that was April 2021, and I haven't looked back. I haven't. This is what I do for a living. I've been writing poetry and writing and performing.
Yeah.
And been making a good living doing it because I trusted that part of the process. Which was I felt that dang, this is why I was born. Yeah. This is for real my purpose. This is how I can make impact by using my voice, by telling my stories, and yeah, man, and it changed my life.
Wow.
Like for real, like in an immeasurable way, but yeah.
Wow, and I remember how so you're just talking about how like you had a poem about different things that you experienced and that you've seen throughout your life, and one of those things that you kind of hinted on was about like seeing people in prison that you knew and going through different ups and downs and trials. And so I remember in your poem Black Boy Blues you said, quote, you attended more funerals and cemeteries and prison yards than you've attended high school graduation, shed enough tears to fill the Nile. These black boys are drowning in society's rapid waters like Katrina victims. They are waiting for FEMA to save them. Wow. So at what point did you take your Black Boy Blues and the realities that you saw and you faced, and you turned it into an anthem to reach out to like helping, to really as a helping hand to say, I see you. What I don't know what inspired that. Like, was there a moment or was there like a few moments or maybe a story or two that kind of sparked that anthem?
Man, it's been first off, thank you for listening, doing your research, and studying some of my work.
Yeah.
That means a lot. First off, and man, yeah, I wrote that piece. I never thought about it as an anthem, but that's dope. I'll take it.
I see it as an anthem. I mean, like, especially as a black man, like I connect to that.
Yeah. Man, but I wrote that piece.
Yeah.
So first off, all my writing stems from the plight of black people. Right? That's what I care about.
Yeah.
Like nothing else. Like that's where my art is rooted.
Yeah.
Right? And empowering black people to win. Point blank period. And often when I do that, I show our struggles first, with the hope that I can show that it's possible to overcome them. Right? So when I wrote Black Boy Blues, it was, hey, I see you. It was, I fear for the lives of black boys. Right? And it was, it was really a letter to my black son, like yo, this is what you need to look out for. We talk about having a talk with our black children, right? That poem was my talk with my black son, and to all the black sons, that are out here in the world.
Yeah.
This is your talk.
Yeah.
And this is my cry. This is my, this is what I feel about what's going on as it relates to our reality. But yeah, man, and that's actually one of my favorite pieces too, Black Boy Blues. But that's what it stemmed from.
Wow. Yeah, I like the jazz that it had in the background. Just how everything meshed well together, the music, and then how you were just talking, and you could just close your eyes and imagine being there, and imagine the imagery was there. And I was like, when I was listening, I was like, man, I'm in this right here. I'm in. I feel like I was in your shoes for a second, for 3 minutes, 15 seconds. So,
I love it, man.
Yeah. That's really cool. So, so poetry and movies. Guys, he's got a movie debuting out in public. It's called 21 Days. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, first off, for those who are interested in listening to that album that we just talked about, I put out that spoken word poetry album in 2015. But it's a banger, music, poetry, singing, all that on that album. And you can check it out on my Instagram, Chris James Journey, and you'll see the link to the music, to the album right there. Bam, Apple Music.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the movie that I got coming out. So first off, so a little bit about the journey. I started out hosting open mics in 2010 because I was in Little Rock, and I was going to open mics and nobody would let me on the stage because they didn't know me. Like, who is this young dude trying to get on the mic? He's 19 years old. He whack. But I was like, you know what? Instead of waiting for an opportunity, I'm going to create my own. So I started creating open mics 2010. 2013, I said, you know what? I feel like I'm a little bit more than just performing a 3-minute poem on the stage. I want to, I saw Intozaki Shungates for Color Girls, and they was like, this is a choreo poem playwright. I'm like, what that mean? Every scene is a poem. I was like, oh, shoot, let me try that.
Wow.
So I put out my first stage play April 2013. It was a choreo poem play called The Odds Against Us. 2019, I decided, man, how can I evolve more as a writer, right? So this is the journey, this is the evolution.
Yeah.
So I discovered, oh man, I can write. So I was already writing stage plays, and I'm gonna write a screenplay. So now, so in 2019, I wrote my first movie, starring Karan Joseph Riley and Jay Wells. And that's where I am now. So I'm here in Atlanta pursuing my career full time as a screenwriter and director. So 21 Days is one of the 3 films that I've shot in 3 films in 2021. I've been working, man. So 21 Days was the first one I shot, and we're premiering it May 8th. I don't know when this will come out, but
we're actually gonna be premiering this episode tomorrow.
Oh wow! Okay, well, I'll be getting this soon. So May 8th, that'll be premiering at the Studio House Atlanta. But 21 Days is about a black man who who's dealing with a breakup after 8 years of being with who he thought would be the woman he would be with for the rest of his life. So as a result of that relationship ending, he has to face letting go of his addiction. She had become his addiction, an unhealthy one, a toxic one. So in this film, we wanted to show what it would look like, what it looks like for this particular black man to get over a breakup. Often we don't see that in film. We don't see, you know, how black men are dealing with breakups or dealing with their depression as a result of it. We often hear women always dealing with the breakups and all this. But how often do you hear a black man, see that? So this is what this film is about. It shows him doing the work to intentionally get over, that obstacle in his life. And so it's an interesting concept. It's a short film. So it's about a 12-minute film. So on May 8th we'll be showing 4 of my short films. But 21 Days is again one of the newer ones that I'll be premiering.
So it's the day before Mother's Day. Y'all come out, show out, and where's the address again?
So it's at Studio House Atlanta. So that's 75.
We'll put the link. We'll put the link below for you guys to check it out. The tickets are like $15 or something like that.
Only $15. Yeah, that's almost free. So you can buy 5 of them, even if you bring a one person. That's real cheap.
Bring a date. Bring your boo thing or your ex. I don't know if you want it.
Whatever. Just bring somebody.
Whoever you want to bring.
Bring your girlfriend and your wife. Okay. All right.
Well, I don't know if they'll like that, but
hey, I'm just saying, bring your girlfriend and your wife, brothers.
Yeah. That's. Anyway, so it's I remember like seeing some descriptors about the film, and it's just like the concept of like how it takes about 21 days to break a bad habit. And in your personal opinion, do you believe that somebody can, I don't know if break out of love is the right phrase, but just really, I guess, kind of break out of maybe a toxic situation, or I don't know, maybe a previous love life that they had in 21. Do you think it's really possible in 21 days?
Yeah. So for me, so I wrote that film about me, to be honest.
That was the next question.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest.
That was coming.
Honestly, I hadn't. It's probably my first. I'm talking about it. You know what? Speak your life.
That's right. We speaking life right here.
Y'all are getting the tea. I really hadn't talked about, my divorce, at all. So this will be the first time let's talk about it. But this past summer, as a result of COVID, a lot was happening. So I decided, man, I woke up on a Monday and I was like, I need to leave town. So I just said, I Googled cabin by water, right? And I found a place and it said Cuba. So I went to Cuba.
Interesting.
Cuba, Missouri. I told all my friends, I said, I'm going to Cuba tomorrow. Like, I was like, you going to Cuba tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Cuba. So
get your passport ready?
Yeah, I'm like, it was Cuba, Missouri. It's just 8 hours away. So I drove to Cuba, Missouri, and I stayed in a cabin for a full week. No phone, no nothing. I was just in the cabin, and I just started writing that film, but to answer your question, I don't believe it's possible to completely get over, a situation that's that hard and that devastating in 21 days.
Yeah.
But I believe that if you can get through 21 days of doing the work to break that habit or to develop that habit, right? Because you may need 21 days to develop a habit of, working on a podcast every day, or working towards your business goal or whatever. But in my case, it did work, because for me, as a result of my relationship ending with the woman that I had thought I would be with for the rest of my life, who I loved. Oh my God. I love that woman hard. And sometimes, it probably didn't always show in the action what I did. But, for me, that 21 days really worked. Like, I had to go cold turkey from like looking at her Instagram or her Facebook or looking at her YouTube channel, like or looking at pictures of us in my phone. So literally, if you watch the film, all the stuff that's happening in the film, that was what I was doing. Like in the film, the character he's deleting all the pictures of him and his ex in his phone. He's blocking her social media. He's he's working out. He's doing all these different things over these 21 days to develop the habit of not depending on how being codependent on the memory of her anymore. And it genuinely worked for me. It worked for me. Like after that, I did it for 21 days, and after that, it became easier to not go back into that dark space of dang, I miss her. Oh man, I'm gonna call her blocked. Oh my god, I'm gonna email her because she got me blocked. You know, it became easier to get out of that, but also became easier to accept that like we ain't getting back together this time.
Yeah.
You know, but those 21 days really, really helped, and I was really in it. You know, like I miss you, I love you. Let's figure this out. Let's work through it. You know, that was me. You know, but those 21 days really for real helped, man. And I encourage anybody who's going through something, who's attempting to break a habit, especially to break a habit, to break a habit of something that is no longer feeding you or growing you, to spend 21 days, challenge yourself 21 days to remove it from your life. You know, and so I'll say this. You see what I'm eating?
Yeah.
What I'm eating?
Mac and cheese, collard greens,
and cornbread.
And some cornbread. Right? Yeah. Soul food.
So I'm in a new 21 day habit, which is I'm developing a new habit now, which is I've gone now 6 weeks without eating meat.
Interesting.
Right. Just to see.
I did notice that.
To see what it does for me. Right. So yeah, and so again, the 21 days is working. And I feel better, you know, this is probably nasty, but I'm even having better and more bowel movements. Like I'm like, the dookie is good. It's coming out well. You know, like for real, because I wasn't like smooth. I don't dookie every day.
Yeah,
but now because I'm eating vegetables and eating, you know,
it comes out
like smooth. Stuff that I know what I'm eating now. Like I ain't just because I decided to go on a no meat journey.
Okay.
I'm now more conscious of what I'm eating because now I'm putting a little bit more thought in it. I'm cooking.
Yeah.
All that, man. Anyway,
you got the recipes going.
Yeah.
You got to send me a link. Send me a link to one of your recipes.
Oh man, I got you, man. I'm making them fried cauliflower wings.
Oh yeah,
man, they be fire. Talk.
Man, hey. Let me come through.
Hey, Chef Boy Chris. Oh wow. That's Credit Karma just told me my credit score shot up 100 points. Wow. That's true.
21 days of new habits working on your credit can increase your credit score by 100. 100 points, guys.
Hey, like for
this
real.
man's a result of it. So make sure you follow him on Instagram so you can get those 21 steps towards a better credit score today.
Hey, come on now. Let me get off
Credit Karma, you need to pay me my royalty for that ad. That was a nice ad right there.
That was a nice like, oh my god, it's
the voice, you know, the smooth, sexy 903.1 voice, you know.
Yeah.
Smooth jazz 107.9.
Quiet Storm. Ooh. I like it. Snap.
But anyways, so I know you recently you were doing some writing for a pilot TV episode. It was like Just Flying or something like that, starring B. Simone and DC Young Fly. Like, how's it?
Flying by.
Just Flying by. Okay, yeah.
I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about that. But it's on my resume at this point.
Okay.
I mean, so I guess But So
how's that process going? By the way?
I mean, it's done. Like we've you know, I was invited by Jackie O, the executive producer of the project, who is DC Young Fly's wife.
Okay.
Because she saw a film that I put out called 30, which was my first film.
Wow.
And she thought it was hilarious, and she hit me on Instagram. I was like, hey, I got a show. I'd love for you to help write some of it and add some comic relief to it.
Nice.
So I got to write on that pilot episode.
Okay.
We shot it actually last May. So it's going to be a year since we shot it.
Wow. That's awesome.
And then I think the episode was finished, like all the editing and all that, probably maybe 4 months ago, and I finally saw it. It turned out really good. So right now, it's just in the can, but it was a good experience.
Yeah.
I got to write jokes for B. Simone.
Nice.
And I got to hang out with everybody. I got to go on set, just kind of, be around as one of the writers, and it was just amazing to see my writing, come to life.
Manifest.
It was just like dope. Like, oh man, that's shit. People behind the camera laughing at that joke that I wrote. That celebrity actor comedian is saying, so that means, my writing is pretty dope. So anyway, I actually told somebody last night that I told my homeboy SJ that I may start writing comedy for folks. Like,
wow,
because when we started the episode, I told you I had jokes, and you was sleeping on me.
I was like, really?
You was sleeping on me, man. Like, hater, bro. That's what's wrong with black people. Nah.
So check this out. I remember when we were at this, we were at the Apache.
Okay.
And you were hosting one of the poetry events, and then you were like doing some intermediary like poetry, and then you also did some joke telling, and then we were all, I think it may have been some like dad jokes or something. It was like something, we were like, oh gosh, Chris, we were like, stick to poetry, bro, stick to poetry. So,
man. So I tell corny jokes on purpose. I tell corny jokes on purpose because people actually laugh at them, so. Yeah. So here's a joke. Here we go. I bought some shoes from a drug dealer. I don't know what he laced them with, but I've been tripping all day.
That was the one that you told. Apache. We were just like, oh my gosh, Chris, come on, man.
Hey, the people watching this are gonna be cracking up, and you gonna use it. Like, you gonna use the joke. I know y'all are. Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, I'm pretty funny though, man. I'm pretty funny.
But that's cool that you are writing and doing having those opportunities to like give your writing to other people and stuff like that. Yeah. Because I'm thinking about, I was watching Wildin' Out with DC Young Fly. I'm just like, this man looks like he's on 10 every single day, behind the scenes, in front of the camera, everywhere. So how was it? Like, was he always on 10 when you were working with him, or?
Yeah, like 80% of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
80% of the time, definitely. Really cool dude.
Yeah, he seems pretty cool.
Yeah, just really funny, really, amazing to be around. Like, I enjoyed his presence. I don't think it was one time where it wasn't, enjoyable to be around. From him cracking jokes to him just when he was just chill and having serious conversations.
Yeah.
But it was a vibe, man. But everybody on the set, not just him.
Yeah.
But everybody, from the camera guy to the sound people to the to the producers. Like, it was a great experience. Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah. It's really cool. It's really cool when you can just be around people who, in front of the cameras, celebrities, whatever, they get the blue check marks or anything like that. But they're still regular people. Like, when you just talk to them one-on-one, that's a really cool. Like, it's not like this facade that you're like, talking to. Like, there's a real person that you're talking to.
Well, the problem is that a lot of times people get the opposite of these celebrities being regular humans, because we approach them like they not regular humans, and so they give you that same energy. Like,
I agree.
They give you the energy that you're asking for. Like, you come around them, and they gonna give you that. But when you approach them like, yo, what's up? I'm a human.
And
they're gonna respond because now they feel safe and comfortable to be human with you.
Exactly.
Versus approaching it like, hey man, like, I'm a leech. And I think so. And I think the thing too, like, even me, like, I've reached a certain success. I ain't no celebrity, but even like when certain people approach me, I like them to approach me with them being clear that they are valuable, and and being confident in who and what they are. Because it shows. You're not like, I don't want to have conversations with people like that, because
they put you on a pedestal. Like, don't put me on.
Like, it don't feed me. To be in conversation with folks like that, who don't 100% know that they are an asset. Right. I've been able to be in a lot of rooms. Right, from TED Talk to to the U.S. Capitol. To being in rooms with celebrities. But in every room that I've been in, even though I'm this boy from North Little Rock, from Washington Avenue, Rose City, with no college degree and nothing to this day, I'm able to navigate in some of the most prominent rooms, or in some of the shit in ratchet ghetto rooms, right? Because I realize 100% that I am an asset.
Yes.
So yes, I think if we operate like that in the world, we'll be able to be a lot more fluid and progressive in the way that we exist. In any type of space.
I agree, and that's how I am whenever I see, like when you were talking about like celebrities and stuff like that. Like the other weekend I saw Jack Harlow downtown Atlanta, and I mean, I would have been on, yeah, it was popping, man. But he was over there, like, he was talking to some girl, like, at dinner. So I was like, I'm not getting in the room. Because I'm, like, sitting here thinking, if I was in his shoes and I'm sitting here eating dinner with whoever, this could be girlfriend or whoever, I don't know who the person was. But it's just like having just some random person just interrupt your dinner while you're just, like, having an intimate conversation. Like, I wouldn't like that either. So I was like, I kind of, like, waved from a distance and just, like, yo, it was just kind of like, made, and that was about it. It wasn't like anything like I was coming over, hey, let me get a picture. Like, nothing like that. So it was just, I kind of like, whenever I see a celebrity, I don't like, I just like treat them like a normal person because that's what they are. And then they'll treat you accordingly. Like, I like what you said about seeing yourself as an asset wherever you go, because people will treat you how you treat yourself, and if you see yourself as somebody who can add value to even that person,
I like that.
Then they'll be like, all right, well, they'll be more interested in getting to know you better. So instead of just them talking about their celebrity, like they're like, well, what about you? Like what are some things that you do? Like, and I've had those conversations with different people before, who, high status figures and stuff like that. And I just act like a normal person. You act interested in them, and you have like good questions. Then they'll, be interested.
And that's something I talk about. So I'm also a success coach. I work with creatives to show creatives how they can make a living off of what they do. Right. So one of the first things I teach creatives amongst my first couple of sessions is like, forget like how you gonna make money and all that. Forget how you branding yourself and all that. The first thing you need to know when you are establishing yourself is the what and the why behind the what. Right. The what and the why behind the what.
Yes.
Right. And with that, you determine what is significant about your what and your why, right?
Yeah.
So if you know these answers, right, now you can go into conversations and you can be more confident. You can add value because now you know what you're doing and the significance is the value, right?
Exactly.
So now you know how you're significantly adding value with your what, right? So you come into a conversation with a Jack Harlow or whatever person who is of value to you, like somebody who's of significant value. That doesn't be a celebrity. That can be an attorney that you've admired in the community, or an activist or whatever, anybody, or a teacher that's whatever. If you are aware of your what and your why, right? You can go into conversations with these folks and not be all over the place. But I've had folks come to me and they don't even know what they want to talk about because they got 59 million ideas and 59 million things that they want to do in life. Like be focused. Because if you're focused, right, you know what it is. Like when I go to folks, I am a writer. I'm a writer. That's what I'm promoting. I'm a writer. What are you promoting to the world? Like what is it that you're doing and using to make impact in the world? Chris James is a writer. I write many different ways. I'm a playwright. I'm a spoken word artist. And I'm a screenwriter. But I'm a writer, right? And I get hired to do all these types of writing. I make money doing them all, right? But I'm a writer. Like how do we define you? And some folks be like, man, well, I'm good at all this stuff, but that's good, but you can't, like, in introduction and getting to know people, throw out all 59 layers of the onion. There's too much going on. Just be simplified, but and be interesting at the same time. Do it. So figure out what's the what, what's the why, why is it significant? Added value. So so that's that on that, man. Let's be simple, bro. I got invited to host Solange's listening party.
Okay.
In New Orleans at the Saint Heron House.
Okay. Nice.
You know, by Alan Ferguson, her I guess now ex-husband. And I took a young lady with me, and she was supposed to do my videography, like just to kind of follow me as I did sound check and shook hands and kissed babies, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And this girl, she's supposed to be in there on one task.
Yeah.
And she literally pulled out an envelope inviting Solange, because she was in makeup school, I guess, inviting Solange to be a makeup to be her model for an event that she was doing to showcase her makeup skills or whatever. It was weird, and but it just made me look bad. Like, yo,
yeah, that's not a good look.
Like, who was this thirsty, human you got with us?
Yeah,
not
so stay focused.
So she should have been focused on the task at hand, and if she had. Networking is all about initiating the relationship, building the relationship, and then maintaining the relationship, right? So you initiate it with your what and your why and your significance, right? And then as you're building it, now you have opportunity to insert all the other things, all other ways that you add value to the world, right? And then you maintain it by just maintaining it, So but initiating it, like, I'm not finna go into it. Like, if I meet a woman, I ain't finna go in there telling her all my triggers, and all my everything. Like,
whoa, I just met you. Like, let's start from day one. What's your name?
Hey, what's your name? I'm trying to get married today. Like,
slow your roll.
And that's how folks be.
We don't even know there's gonna be a second date.
Exactly. Like, man, just give people a layer at a time, man. Anyway, that's
no, I agree. I totally agree, and I think sometimes I think in this world that we live in, this like social media age, where I think there's two extremes going on. There's the part where like you're just showing everything that's good in your life, and then my life is so perfect. I'm always traveling the world, and I'm Insta famous, and I get all the filters on, but I don't show my real self. But then there's the other extreme of like. Vulnerability is so cool where like it becomes like it's a badge of honor to be I'm just struggling and I'm going through it, like, and it's just like to be telling everything about yourself like all at once. I think there's two extremes going on, but that's a whole other topic for another podcast. But but anyways, I was gonna say, you kind of hinted on just what you see as a formula for success, the initiation, the maintenance, the initiation, the building, and the maintenance of relationships and stuff like that. And I remember in your TEDx back in like 2015, you talked about how relationships have taken you far, and that you use that kind of that piece of what you just talked about. And what would you say, like, I don't know, like, speak more about that and like just using that formula to be in those rooms that you talked about being, be surrounded by Congress members, or being in this room, B. Simone and BC Young Fly. How was that helped you to elevate?
Relationships have been the initiator to every room I've been in. Yeah. Right? But it's not been the thing that kept me in the room, though. What kept me in the room is me. Yeah. Right? But my relationships have gotten me into rooms. When the TEDx program came to Arkansas, somebody else mentioned me, right, and got me the meeting. But I sold myself. Yeah, I closed the deal, right. When the United States Congress last summer needed a speaker to come and speak to 500 artists from all around the country to come and tell those artists that it's possible to make a living off your art, somebody mentioned me, right, because of a relationship I had with them years ago, right? So it's been all about relationships, man. A lot of times people feel like if the relationship isn't fruitful right away, that what's the point of maintaining it? Yeah. Like that ain't how you should look at relationships. You shouldn't look at relationships as one-offs or what can I get out of it right now, instantaneous, instant gratification, right? Yeah. So again, it's all about the building and the maintaining. Like for instance, it was like 2014. I was at a conference in North Carolina with Alternate Roots, an arts activism organization I'm a part of. Yes. And I met a young lady named Carolyn, and she was like, "I got a house in New Orleans. If you ever need somewhere to stay, let me know.
Yeah.
2 years later, I hit her up.
Wow.
Hey, I'm in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And since I've had a place to stay,
Yeah, you don't have to pay for hotel, Airbnb, all
I've
that
literally
stuff.
stayed at her house 20 times, at least 20 times.
That's awesome.
I've toured my stage plays through New Orleans, and my whole cast has stayed at her house.
Wow.
But man, like building and maintaining relationships has been everything for me, man. Like, it's everything.
Yeah.
You have to realize that. Like, whatever you do in life, you need to realize that it's about relationships and resources, right? Relationships.
R&R.
R&R.
Alliteration, baby.
Hey, there it is. It's about relationships and resources, right?
Yeah.
And also you also have to become a resource, so
That's right.
do the work to do that. Don't always be the one who was, benefiting from relationships and resources. Become the resource too.
Yeah.
Which I know I've become, in my journey, because I've benefited from so many relationships, that has provided resources for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like by far, like you meet people all the time, bro, who have graduated from college, who have these degrees and whatever, but they're not working in that area because they haven't done the groundwork to initiate and build relationships with folks who are decision makers in that world, right? Like for instance, like right now, I get paid well to go into schools across the country and teach professional development, to teach students in classrooms. Again, I ain't got no college degree, but it's been based off of relationships that have got me in the room. But it was my talent that kept me in the room, right?
Yes.
So man, like just keep in mind, like really, 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 like wherever you are in your career, your journey, like start initiating and building genuine relationships with folks. And this is the last thing I'll say about it. Networking ain't about networking up.
Yeah.
It ain't about how can I network and initiate relationships with folks who are way higher than where I am right now.
Yeah.
Networking is also about networking across.
Horizontally.
Yeah, you can network across. You can network down sometimes, because these are often going to be because the people that you're networking across with, the people that you're currently on the same level with, may blow up.
Yeah. And
be the one who can pull you up.
Yeah.
Right. But if you maintain that relationship and you're genuine about it, they're gonna remember, you as well. Like, man, come on, Andre, come with me, bro.
Yeah.
And now, bam, you're there, and now you have gone with him, right? And you can look at that exactly.
Yeah.
And LeBron James' circle.
Yeah.
And
Every Carter.
And you can look at like it wasn't just LeBron James who initiated and built and maintained those relationships with the people that's in his circle now that he still keeps involved. Of Kevin Hart. Those folks also did their part of the work to maintain those relationships that they're all now benefiting from. So you have to ask yourself, what are you doing right now
to contribute
to the building and the maintaining of healthy, fruitful relationships with the people who are in your life? Like, are you challenging people to grow that's around you? Are you being a resource for them so they can grow, right? Or if you're just around folks who are not growing, and now you stuck because you're like, I don't know.
You're the average of your 5 closest friends.
Yeah, so that's my thought on that, man.
Yeah, I love it. And because I remember you were saying, like, it's not just about, back in the days, it was about what you know, and now it's not about just what you know, but what you know, a combination of who you know, and a combination of who knows you. So that I love that what you said in that TEDx that stage. So that was really dope.
And to simplify, it's not about who you know. It's only about who knows you. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I know, like, if we sitting at a table right now, you and I, we planning a concert.
Yeah.
Or whatever. We know who Jay-Z is. We know who Monique is. We know whoever. We know who they are. But do they know who we are?
Yeah.
Because we want our names to be of value. We want our names and our brands to come up in their conversations.
Yeah.
And that's what matters. So again, it goes back to what are we doing to put ourselves out to the world in a way that makes us visible and valuable. They go to alliteration again. That makes us visible and valuable enough to be mentioned on the table.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, look, you've had, different people that have impacted you in your life and have helped you to get to where you are. You said, I guess, was it Miss Murphy in 7th grade?
Pilar Murphy.
Yeah, and Foreign Tongues, the group that National Poets consisted of your homeboy True and my cousins, the McAdoos. Shout out to the McAdoos.
Yeah.
And man, and it's like having those people. How have they impacted you in your journey?
Man, that's simple. Shout out to Miss Pilar Murphy again.
Yeah.
Again, I always tell folks, go back to my interviews. I always shout out Pilar Murphy, my 7th grade science teacher. She's shouted out in every book that I've written, every newspaper article I've done an interview, and all that, podcast, all that. Pilar Murphy, 7th grade, I was writing in class, and instead of stopping me from writing, she encouraged me to keep writing and to finish my work later. As long as you finish your work later, you can write. Because she knew the classroom was my place of solitude, and she allowed me to write, and she encouraged me to write. She told me I was dope. She would grab me and make me go read my poems to the other teachers in the school. Right? She took me to church with her outside the school. Like, she was a true educator. She invested her time, her resources, and energy into a little poor black boy from the neighborhood that she didn't have to care about.
Yeah,
and that, like, single-handedly was one of the experiences from someone that changed, that really for real impacted my life. Because all it takes is that little encouragement. Like there are little kids who have been told, hey, you can sing, when they were 6 years old, and they carried that and believed that for the rest of their life. Can't nobody take it away from them because they believe this. This person told me that.
Yeah.
You can't tell me I can't.
That's right.
There are people who've been told they ugly.
Yeah.
And they carry and believe that they ugly for the rest of their lives.
And they can't be told that they're beautiful.
They can't they can't receive it.
Yeah.
Right? But in this case, Pilar Murphy, who is now a pharmacist, she out there making big money now.
Nice.
And she really impacted me. And then I went on to meet the McAdoos and Ron Mac and Stacy and Apollo and True and Osiris and all the dope poets who were pioneering the Arkansas Little Rock poetry scene, and they all welcomed me in, and yet again there was validation that I was a dope writer, right? And they really pushed me to write as well and to be better, because I was around them, the geniuses.
Yeah.
So I had no choice but to become
to get
the
better.
next one. Like, I gotta become a genius too, shit.
Yeah.
Or become great. I couldn't be average around cats like that. And now to this day, they were all resources.
Yeah.
And then they challenged me to do the work to now to also become a resource. Yeah. And I did. I did so much work. I'm the one who opened up the poetry venue in our city. I created paid opportunities for all of us. The list goes on, a million things, but I did that because they encouraged me to.
Yeah, it's full circle.
Yeah, full circle.
That's the best way to give back. Whenever when somebody's done something for you, you may not be able to pay them directly in compensation.
Yeah.
But you pay them back by putting in the work and developing, elevating yourself so that you can become that resource either for the next generation or even the current generation that you are, peers with.
And, I mean, and that's the least that we, and that's what you just described is exactly what, that's what how our parents are looking at us.
Yeah.
Like we can't pay them back at all.
No.
For birthing us, for feeding us, and all that. But
wiping our butts.
Yeah, but the least we can do is become great.
Yeah.
Is to become our best selves.
That's
so
right.
So they can, it's
like, be proud of us.
Yeah, like that's the least you can do. Like don't make my investment in you be a waste.
Yes.
Like,
I agree. And so, you've done a lot in your, 31 years of living so far, and got a lot more to go.
Yeah.
And definitely. So what are some, other than the relationship aspect, what are some, or maybe one or two things, practical gems you could drop real quick for young professionals out there who are looking to make their next step to like their purpose and their dreams?
Man, again, number one, figure out the what and the why.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna break this down. Entrepreneurship is this, right? Entrepreneurship is there's a problem and there's a solution, right? So as an entrepreneur, your goal is to identify a problem that exists in the world, right? Women want to look beautiful because of their to enhance their eyes, right? So there's the problem, right? And the solution is you have, eyelashes that go on. You have eyelashes. That's the solution. The next step is keep in mind that there's competition. There's 59,000 people who are also doing lashes. So the third step is how can I do it more creatively than all the other folks around me?
Yeah.
Right? Bam. Simple, simple, simple. So if you keep that basic formula in mind, you're off to being a pretty great entrepreneur, right? So now you figured out that. So now you figured out, right, the what, right, which is the problem, right, and then the solution, right, or the what is the problem is the why, right? Your solution is the what, right? Bam, right? And then you figure out how can I do it significantly? How can I do it creatively? How can I do it, in a way that is, different from everybody else? And now that you've mastered that, right? Like Waffle House make waffles like this. Like Waffle House waffles don't taste like nobody else's. They don't. They don't. Bam, right? So they figured out how their waffles are significant, right? And also the way that they offer their service is diner style. Like nobody else is doing it like that, right? That is a large franchise. Bam, they've created a niche for themselves. What's your niche? And now what you have to do is you have to figure out how can I continue to evolve, right? Your next step needs to already be planned 5 years ahead of the game. Like the iPhone 15 is already created.
Yep.
Like they are not creating the i15 right now. That is already created. It's in the lab. Which is why they're able to release and keep evolving and not fall behind, right? So you got to think about your business the same way. Like how can you evolve? How can you pivot, right? So you can't wait for another COVID to happen, which what happened to me. Like COVID happened, I had to pivot last minute. Like over $10,000 worth of my gigs had canceled within 2 weeks time. Like it was like, hey man, cancel, postpone.
Ooh, them pockets were hurting.
Man, they were hurting. I'm a full-time artist. So it wasn't easy getting that amount of gigs over a 4 month span of time, whatever. Like that was work for the rest of the from March till June that I had all canceled. I'm like, whoa.
Wow.
And then all the book festivals I had planned that I do every summer, the New York City Poetry Festival, the Louisiana Book Festival, Mississippi Book Festival, all that stuff just canceled. I'm like, yo, man. So I had to figure out how to pivot. Like how else can I continue to monetize my solution? Right? My solution to the problems that exist in the world. Right? So I had to pivot. But if I had been practicing what I'm now preaching right now, which I already knew this because I was always evolving anyway, right? I went from open mic poet to hosting shows, making money, monetizing the show, right? To selling merchandise, to becoming an author, to a playwright, to now a screenwriter. So I was always evolving, but to be honest, I got a little bit comfortable, right? And COVID hit. And man, I was sitting down for like a whole month, not knowing what to do.
Wow.
So anyway, I challenge, man, the entrepreneurs out there in the world, like for real. Like be thinking about ways that you can evolve. Like how can you pivot if things shut down? So if you're a hairstylist, right? Like your mastery solution or thing that you offer to your clientele may be designing wigs, right? But while you're doing that, you also need to be making it just as valuable to your clients. The prep services that you offer, or the product that you have attached to those wig designs, right? 'Cause they may only buy one wig from you every 3 months. But what do they need from you every month? Right. So be mastering that, right? Or how do you become, the wholesaler of a product for all the other women who are also designing wigs, right? So when your clientele dries up, they ain't buying wigs right now, right? But hey, I'm still good over here. Here's another thing. Entrepreneurs, like just because you got into the black, right, and for this month, you need to have the mindset that you will be probably in the red for the next 3 months. So don't think just because you won this month that you're gonna win next month as well. Like that's very ambitious of you, but that ain't realistic.
And what he means by that, guys, for those who are just wondering, what does he mean by black and red? The black is good in business terms. Black is good, and red is you're in the bad.
Yeah, like you're like, man, my business made $10,000 this month. I'm good. Right, and now you're going to buy a new machinery and a new product and all this stuff. I'm like, yo, you need to sit on that money for a little bit. You know, and invest it wisely, and versus thinking like, oh man, I can just go splurge. Like, nah, be responsible with your spending. Be responsible, you know, and be mindful of how the market that you're in, you know, how it does. Like, does it? Like, I now know to not throw a stage play in the summertime. I did stage plays in the summertime, and they have never packed out for me. Like, because, you know, majority of my audience, and also I know my target audience, they're educators, they're professionals who are enjoying the summertime, and they traveling.
That's right.
They traveling. You know, so unless I figure out a way to market to tourists who are traveling, coming into major cities or wherever, you know, then I can win. But tourists ain't coming to see stage plays.
No,
you know, they come to do the touristy stuff, not to support. You know, no. The point is, figure out the target audience, man. Be smart about how you move. That's my practical advice for entrepreneurs.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
For sure,
appreciate that. And so, as we wrap it up, we always talk about in this podcast you know, if life is like a house, and the question is, what would your house stand on? What is it, one foundational pillar your house is built on?
Say that question one more time.
If your life is like a house, what is one foundational pillar that your house is built on? Your life, your house.
And my foundational pillar is built on,
like, some people's, for example, is, you know, built on family legacy. Some people's foundational pillar is integrity. Some people is love. Some people is respect. Some people is, you know, different things. Different things that build their house, their life, and that you know, those foundational structures. Where there's one pillar that yours stands on.
Man, that's a deep question, bro. And I almost drowned in it because it was so deep. See, I'm a comedian.
Like, it's the Nile out here.
Hey, for real. But I guess I'll answer the way I'm comprehended it. My why. My why is, number one, I have no choice but to do it. People always say, man, keep doing what you're doing, bro. And my response is always, I ain't got no choice. You know,
that's right.
Like, you know, I said jokingly and sarcastically.
Bless you.
But I genuinely don't have a choice. And the reason I do what I do is because I have to.
Yeah.
My brothers are in prison for 25 and 40 years. They went to prison when I was 16.
Wow.
And I do everything that I do because I am their foundation. Right? When they come home, if I don't have a foundational pillar for them, they're going to fall into a familiar struggle. Yeah. And they're going to end up going back, or potentially end up going back to where they just came from all those years. Yeah. So I live life with this sense of urgency, with this sense of I got to, because of my brothers. Yeah. Yeah, I got to. Yeah. You know, that's if I was doing it for me, I probably would have been giving up. But I can genuinely say that I'm doing it for them. You know, I can only imagine going to prison for 25 or 40 years and come home to nothing. Wow. But I can imagine going to prison for all those years and coming home to everything that I've dreamed of, like, but somebody loved me enough to do it for me. And I love my brothers enough to do it for them. So I guess, you know, so I hope I answered the question because, so as I wrap up, I'm doing it for love.
Yeah.
And love is not something you feel. Love is something you do.
Mm-hmm.
Love is a verb. Love is an action.
Yeah, it is.
And so as I wrap up, my foundational pillar is the love that I'm obligated to have and do for my brothers.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so, you know, that is, excuse me, let me get some water. Yeah, so that concludes that part of the segment of the main segment of the podcast. And we are on this last part called Question of the Day. And that is not as much as a thought-provoking, super deep question that you're drowning in the Nile type of question. But who is the character out there on any show or movie that most resembles you most? Or that most resembles you? That was redundant.
Yeah.
Most resembles you most. No, that most resembles you.
The character that most resembles me,
yes,
in the world,
it could be from like an old TV show from back in the day that you used to watch, or it could be like, I don't know, a movie that you saw.
Oh man, that's
a lot of.
That's a question I wasn't ready for.
Or maybe one that you would like, or somebody that you identify with. Maybe it could be like, I don't know, Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness, and maybe it could be, I don't know, whoever out there that you can see yourself in whenever you're watching. Who do you see yourself in the most? If I could rephrase it like that.
I like so the show. Oh yeah, I got it.
Okay.
The show Giants.
Giants. Okay.
It's the show on Issa Rae's YouTube channel.
Okay.
It's like a multi-Emmy award winning show.
Nice. I need to check it out.
Written by James Bland.
Okay.
He's a FAMU alumni.
Shout out to HBCUs.
Yeah. But that show, man, the character that he played reminds me of me. You know, that character is, you know, the show Giants is about facing your giants. You know, David and Goliath. Like, you defeat your giants. Your giants may be depression. Your giants may be, you know, the fear, you know, that's keeping you from acting on what you want the most out of life or whatever. So that character James Bland played, man, is really me, because I've been fighting my giants for a long time. So it was a great character, man. In the film Giants, I think it's 2 seasons out on YouTube.
Okay.
So go definitely check that out.
Nice.
And I think they're now streaming those on. Actually, I know they are. They're streaming Giants on one of those BET networks.
Okay. So
you know, BET got like 39 networks now, so it's maybe BET Plus or something. But they did get a distribution deal with them, so I know it's on there. And hopefully it's still on YouTube too, on Issa Rae's channel.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, for me, I don't know. I resemble, like, when I think about that, like, the person out there I really identify with is Childish Gambino or Donald Glover. Like, whether he's in Community, whether he's in Atlanta, like, I just, like, his story resonates with me so much. And I know, like, going to college, like, some kids, only the white kids, would be like, you look just like him. Like, no, I don't. I take this as a compliment, but we don't look alike. It's only because of the afro and the skin tone, but but yeah, it just, I don't know, somebody I you know, it's just his story and just you know, where he's come from and where he's going and different talents that he has and stuff like that. So and just his personality, he goes to the Goodwill like me. Like, we both go to like consignment shops, whatever like that. So yeah. Anyways, but that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this podcast and checking out the show. And we want you to remember to subscribe to this podcast. But before I get into that, make sure you follow this man on Instagram at Chris James Journey. Again, that's Chris James Journey on Instagram. Follow him and remember to click that link so you can have access to the event that is happening next Saturday, May 8th. If you would like to be a part of that event, it's $15. And if you need more information, just DM Chris. But again, thank you guys for listening. Be sure to subscribe to this channel here at Speak Your Life, whether you're on YouTube. Again, we're getting our subscriber count to 1,000. We're going to make it. And we want you to be a part of that journey. We want you to be part of this Speak Your Life family. And follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Speak Your LYFE, because life without your why is meaningless. Thank you so much for listening. We love you. And I'm out. Peace.